Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, traders. This is another daily recap on one of the stocks on the Australian Stock Exchange. We're going to look at OSH. OSH is oil search on the Australian stock market. What we're looking at right now, we're looking at the weekly bar. So every single bar here represents a week, and we're just going to quickly give a quick view of what's been happening with oil search. Right now we can see on the bigger picture, this is a weekly chart, just remember, if I just draw a trend line from here, and I'll just draw it down and connect the peaks through here, connecting the peak through there, you can see we could have a major trend line coming down through there, and you can see how resistance through here, you can see it hit resistance up here, resistance through here, resistance through here, and also resistance through here as well. So you can see there's a lot of resistance through there. One thing you can see too is, see my proprietary moving average, this one coming through here, it really is holding it pretty well. You see resistance through here, came back up, break below it, resistance through here, came back down, came back up. See, it's actually bouncing off this moving average through here. So this moving average is a very good moving average on the weekly chart for this particular stock. Actually, this moving average is very good on all stocks that I find that we use in the live trading room that I conduct every day. But we also can see this. We also can see that we have a bit of a channel forming through here. See this channel forming through here? That's what we can see. And we can see that it's now nicely stepping up through here, and it's just breaking off where it is right now. So if we're looking at that, we can say, okay, now it's forming into a triangle. It's likely to explode. But if it explodes, then we have a bit of support. See my moving average here? Bounce off, likely to hit support. So right now it's between a resistance on the top side and a support on the downside. That's the overall picture on OSH. Now, if we have a look at the daily chart, let's look at the daily chart here. Now, this is the daily chart here. And what we want to look at is, okay, what's really going on with this particular stock? Now, what I want to do is I just want to quickly clear everything off this screen. Actually, no, I will leave everything on the screen just to show you what's going on here. Okay, so here's the trend lines here that we drew on the actual weekly chart. And we can see here one thing that's happening is pressurizing. Here's a major low. And then we came up and made a nicely step down. Look at this. Lower peaks, lower troughs. Lower peaks, lower troughs, lower peaks, lower troughs. So the sellers are continue to knock this down. Bam, 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 knocking it down, knocking it down, knocking it down. So they continue to knock this down. Now the thing is, right now we have the potential of a very first high trough here. That might be the indication that it's going up. Now what I mean is this. If we can have a look here, we see lower peaks, lower troughs. Each peak is lower than the previous peak. Each trough is lower than the previous trough. That simply represents sellers in control. Now if sellers are in control, then we want to try and go with the sellers in control. But right now, it looks like it's forming maybe a bit of a head and shoulder formation. We can see that the market came down, formed the left shoulder, came down, formed the head, then the right shoulder. This might end up exploding to the upside. Now, if you have a look at the bigger picture, let's look at this here. If we have a look at let's squeeze this up here a bit more. If we have a look at the bigger picture, this is what we're seeing here. This here could be a massive left shoulder. This here could be a massive head. And this here could be a massive right shoulder. Can you see that? Left shoulder into the big head, into the right shoulder. That might be a big reversal pattern. Now that's going to the extremes of looking at the bigger picture. But what happens right now is we're looking for some sort of breakout. Now we are in a bear market, and this is more bearish. So if it breaks to the downside, the downside break is going to be much more powerful than the upside break. And the reason why I say that is because we are in a bear market, and bear market breakouts to the trend direction, which is down, they're much more powerful than against the overall trend, which is up in this case. So we want to see a breakout to that. If it breaks to the downside, we could potentially then see the lows down here of, say, $3.20. Okay, $3.20. We could potentially see those lows there. So, but I'm not saying it's going to go down there. We don't know what's going to happen, but we need to wait for confirmation. That's exactly what we do in the trading room every day. We wait for confirmation and then we pull the trigger. So that's very important. So let me just delete that rectangle I put through there, and let me show you something else through here. As the market is going, it's always telling us a story. And I'll show you how. If we're looking at this through here, we see we have a lower peak, a lower peak. We see we have here, we have a trough, a peak, okay? Trough, a peak. Came down, came down, made a trough, came up, made a higher peak. Now this higher peak was representing maybe trend changing. This could be a trend changing activity. Look at this through here. Higher trough, buyers can control, and that's the reason why this longer term we need to keep an eye on, because this is that long term weekly trend line that we always need to put on our charts to keep, because yes, the buyers did come in control, bounce off my proprietary moving average and run to the upside, but most of all it actually came through our weekly trend line. By having that on the charts, you can actually get a good identification what is going on. It came up, hit resistance, came back down. Look what happened here. Came down, made a low, came up, made a lower peak, bang. You can see that now, if I just draw a trend line from here to here, clearly broke out of that there, and that's the reason why I broke down. So this section through here, if I just this section through here, you're saying that, listen, sellers are likely to take control. Break out to the downside below my proprietary moving average. That was the indication that was likely to come down through there. Step down. Now it's starting to go slightly down. Who's in control? No one's in control at the moment. But if it breaks down below this low through here, sellers are in control. If it breaks above this level through here, then buyers are in control. So we'll see what happens through there. So right now with OSH, we're overall sideways, but it does look like we're going to try and bounce up, bounce down, or try to bounce up or bounce down. If it starts to break down, that's a much more high probability effective move than the upside in my point of view. So, but just make sure you keep yourself safe. Make sure you wait for confirmation. Make sure that you've got all indicators going for you. Make sure you've got some moving averages going for you. Make sure you've got volume going for you. Make sure you've got everything that's stacked on your side and say this thing is likely to go up. It's very, very important, and especially volume. Volume is key, and that's exactly what we do in the trading room every single day. So make sure you keep that in mind. Okay, traders, thanks a lot for this roundup, this daily recap of OSH. Please leave your feedback, and you need any help, just let me know.